For many years, scientists could only offer general descriptions of the population in the Americas, leaving many questions unanswered about the timing and modes of human migration. However, advancements in ancient DNA techniques are now providing a clearer picture based on numerous new samples from across the Americas. Two separate studies published in the journal Cell and online in Science revealed that approximately 13,000 years ago, ancient populations spread rapidly throughout the continent. These studies also highlight that this narrative has continued for thousands of years, revealing extensive, previously unrecorded migrations between North and South America. The data includes 64 recently sequenced ancient DNA samples from Alaska to Patagonia, covering a genetic history spanning over 10,000 years. Ben Potter, an archaeologist at the University of Alaska in Fairbanks, remarked, "The numbers of samples are just extraordinary." Before these investigations, only 6 genomes from the Americas older than 6,000 years had been sequenced. Jennifer Raff, an anthropological geneticist at the University of Kansas in Lawrence, noted, "The genetic models we've been using to explain the peopling of the Americas have always been oversimplified." To obtain some of the new samples, Eske Willersleff, an evolutionary geneticist at the University of Copenhagen and the lead of the science team, worked closely with the Falan Paiute Shoshone tribe in Nevada. The tribe had previously opposed genetic testing that could damage their cultural heritage and had been fighting to repatriate 10,700-year-old remains found in Nevada's Spirit Cave. In a personal visit, Willersleff assured the tribe that the research would only be conducted with their consent, resulting in their agreement. The research confirmed that the Spirit Cave remains are most closely related to living Native Americans. As a result, the bones were returned to the Falan Paiute Shoshone tribe and reburied in 2016, which strengthened their claim. The tribe's cultural coordinator, Rochan Downs, stated, "This is our homeland. These are our ancestors," affirming the findings of Willersleeff's study. Willersleff added the Spirit Cave data to 14 other new whole genomes from sites ranging from Alaska to Chile, dating from 10,700 to 500 years old. His findings contribute to an even larger set of data published in Cell by a team led by population geneticist David Reich from Harvard Medical School in Boston. This team analyzed DNA from 49 new samples from Central and South America, dating from 10,900 to 700 years old, across more than 1.2 million positions in the genome. Collectively, the data effectively dispel earlier claims, based solely on distinctive skull shapes of a few ancient remains, suggesting that early populations had a different ancestry than today's Native Americans. Native Americans truly did originate in the Americas as a genetically and culturally distinctive group. They are absolutely indigenous to this continent, stated Raff. A DNA trail ***. The sequencing of DNA from 64 ancient individuals has enriched the Americas' limited genetic record through 2 new studies. They illustrate how members of the Clovis culture, related to the Anzic child, rapidly expanded across North and South America around 13,000 years ago. The studies also provide an unprecedented view of how ancient populations navigated the continent. Previous genetic research suggested that the ancestors of Native Americans diverged from Siberians and East Asians around 25,000 years ago, likely entering the now largely submerged landmass of Beringia, which connected the Russian Far East and North America. Willersleff sequenced a new example of an ancient Beringian, consisting of 9,000-year-old remains from the Seward Peninsula in Alaska, indicating that some populations remained isolated in Beringia while others migrated south. Those who traveled south of the ice sheets eventually split into 2 groups termed Southern Native Americans and Northern Native Americans, sometimes referred to as Ancestral A and B lineages, who subsequently settled the continents. Both papers offer additional information, some of it complex, on this migration pattern by examining genetic similarities between distant samples. A key reference point was the 12,700-year-old Anzic child from Montana, connected to the mammoth-hunting Clovis culture and known for their distinctive spear points. Willersleff identified Anzic-related ancestry in 10,000-year-old remains from Lagoa Santa in Brazil, as well as the Spirit Cave individual, who is associated with Western stem tools, a tradition likely older than Clovis. Reich's team discovered even stronger genetic correlations between Anzic and samples from Chile, Brazil, and Belize, which date from 9,300 to 10,900 years ago. The close genetic affinities observed among these samples, from similar time periods but across great distances, suggest that groups must have migrated quickly across the Americas with little time to diverge into separate genetic lineages. Reich's team posits that this rapid expansion may have played a crucial role in shaping the genetic landscape of ancient Americans. Later samples from South America and Lovelock Cave in Nevada provide evidence of ancestry related to Anzac, according to Willersleff. However, Reich's data indicates that this ancestry began to decline in most of South America around 9,000 years ago, suggesting a major population replacement, he states. Following this population turnover, both research teams observe striking genetic continuity in many regions. Nevertheless, this does not imply that there was no movement of people. Reich's team identifies a new genetic signal entering the central Andes approximately 4,200 years ago, carried by individuals who are most closely related to the ancient inhabitants of the Channel Islands off Southern California. Meanwhile, Willersleff's team detects ancestry linked to the present-day Mix, an indigenous group from Oaxaca, Mexico, which spread to South America about 6,000 years ago and to North America roughly 1,000 years ago. Neither of these migrations replaced local communities. Instead, they mixed with them. Both teams suggest that they might be observing the same genetic signal, but as archaeogeneticist Cosimo Post from the Max Planck Institute for Human History in Jena, Germany, notes, without comparing the data, it's really hard to tell. The presence of Australasian ancestry in some ancient South Americans is equally puzzling. In the Amazon region of Brazil, Reich and others had previously noted signs of this ancestry in living individuals. Willersleff has now provided additional evidence in the form of DNA from a person who lived 10,400 years ago in Lagoa Santa, Brazil. José Victor Moreno Meyer, a geneticist from the University of Copenhagen and the lead author of the Willersleff study, poses the question, how did it arrive? We don't know. This genetic signal appears to somehow leap over all of North America in a single bound. According to co-author and archaeologist David Meltzer from Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas, he questions whether this Australasian heritage was exclusive to a few Siberian migrants who traveled through Beringia and the Americas alone, without interacting with other Native American ancestors. This suggests that distinct groups might have migrated to the continents independently. Despite their excitement about the new study's findings, scientists express a desire for more data. As Meltzer states, none of the new samples provide insights into conditions at pre-Clovis sites like the 14,500-year-old Monte Verde in Chile. Potter adds, the sampling record for Central and Eastern North America has a huge gaping hole. These documents are not the final word.